What if I told you that while you're watching this video, Voice AI is making cold calls and booking meetings for me? I've built a fully automated system that combines RetellAI's natural-sounding voice technology with Airtable's powerful CRM capabilities and n8n's workflow automation. My digital assistant makes hundreds of calls daily, handles objections naturally, and qualifies leads, all without human intervention. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly how I built the system so you can scale your outreach without scaling your team. Let me show you how it works. So this is just going to be a very high-level breakdown inside of Figma of what we're going to be building with this cold caller. We're going to be utilizing probably 3 to 4 different softwares. First of all, we're going to be using Airtable to basically store all of our phone numbers, names for those phone numbers, and then also a filter. So we are adding a filter to each of the phone numbers to basically indicate to n8n, our automation, and also to us, which phone numbers have been called and which ones haven't. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to filter all the phone numbers for uncalled, and then any phone number that is seen as uncalled inside of our automation will automatically be detected and be sent to essentially our voice agent inside of RetellAI to make that phone call via a HTTP request. And once that's done, we can basically take all those post-call transcripts, the recording, and then use that however we please, whether that be through AI or whether that be through just ourselves. So for example, let's say I have 10 phone numbers inside of an Airtable and 9 of them are uncalled. What the automation will do is it'll basically search through all those records and return those 9 uncalled phone numbers and then basically call them simultaneously using the same voice agent. Then after a couple of minutes, we can go through the transcripts and we can actually see what happened during this call interaction. So that is pretty much what this Figma is demonstrating. And now let's build it out live. We're going to be utilizing probably 3, maybe 4 different softwares. Of course, we're going to have our n8n for our backend automation to actually connect everything together. We're going to have Airtable, which will basically store the name of the user, the phone number, and the status being if they haven't been called. And we're going to be utilizing RetellAI, which is basically our voice agent platform. So I think the first thing we want to do is probably log into RetellAI. All you have to do is go to RetellAI.com. You'll be presented with this screen. Just click login, and it'll probably ask you to log in through Google or just through your email and password. And then you'll be taken to a screen like this. Yours will probably be white and say that there are no agents. All you have to do to change the background is just go to your account down here in the bottom left, click light or dark, and then you can change it as please. Now, there are a lot of tabs on the side here, and I did make a video going through this, so I'm not going to go into it in detail. But all we are focused on is creating a voice AI agent. In this case, I've already created one. I don't know why there are 2 there. I think that's just a duplicate, but I've already created a voice AI agent, or basically our cold caller, which would basically just call the person and ask them how their day has been. It's very simple. It's very straightforward, but for your specific use case, it could be very different. Maybe you're cold calling on behalf of a business. Maybe you're trying to not even cold call, but reach out to leads that haven't been very responsive in the past. Or you're just reaching out to your active lead database to try and build some rapport or get some more feedback, responses, whatever. In this case, though, this is a very simple prompt, just asking people how their day has been, what's one thing that's made their day unique or memorable, and then on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your overall mood? And then thank you for your time, and that's pretty much it. In terms of our prompting, we're going to go with 4.0 Mini. Obviously, we're going to use 11 Labs, and to be honest, the voice, I don't really mind. It's not that important for this demonstration. We're just going to leave it as Auto 11 Labs V2. Because it's the highest quality. English, we'll stick to English. Welcome message, user initiates, we'll actually just do AI initiates with a dynamic message. Functions, we'll add an end call function. So basically end the call. We'll also add a call transfer. So in this case, transfer the call to a human agent. So we can choose a static number or a dynamic routing. Or in this case, we're just going to do static number. And we're going to do a cold transfer. So obviously you can put in your phone number and do that. All good. Knowledge base, depending on your cold calling agent and whether you actually need a knowledge base or not, In this case, we don't need a knowledge base, but my best practices for a knowledge base is to basically use it to include all of your examples of past transcripts. And I would also use it to store any company information or context. That's what I would use a knowledge base for, and that's what I've found the best success with. However, it is noted that if you do add a knowledge base, it does add about 100 to 200 milliseconds of extra latency. So do with that as you please, but I think honestly on latency side of things, it's more than enough. Speech settings, background sound. I love the coffee shop, so we're just gonna do that. Leave everything as is. I don't really mind. Call settings, end call on silence. I don't know why the default is 10 minutes because that's a lot of time. We're just gonna go end call on silence after 30 seconds and then max call duration, honestly, just 5 minutes. Pause before speaking, the duration before the assistant starts speaking at the beginning of a call. We're actually gonna put this to 0.6, and I mentioned in my previous video, I like to add a bit of a delay because people most of the time put the phone to the ear or they try and put it on speaker. So that basically accounts for it. Post-call analysis. So this is actually where you can do your post-call analysis. In this case, we'll do a very basic post-call analysis, probably just asking, what do I want to call this? So this will probably be for the first question. How has your day been so far? So we'll probably go open with warmth. So this will basically indicate to what I might make this a selector. And what we'll do is how day has been. Analyzes how the user's day has been on a scale of bad, bright, and good. The day was bad, then the user probably indicated some form of negative response. If the day was all right, then the user, I guess, sounds quite normal, maybe. And then if the day was good, the user responds back with positive remarks. There we go. And then for our choices, we'll probably just do bad. We'll probably just do all right. And then we'll probably just do good. You can imagine how this would be used for your own cold call or your own case study of business. This is just a very high level example. Now, post-call analysis, we probably want to do the next one, probe gently. What's one thing that made your day unique or memorable to you? So this will probably just be a text. Memorable day. Outlines the key, most memorable thing that has happened to the user today that is unique and memorable for them. Awesome. Next one is quantify mood. On a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your overall mood today? And we're not going to make this optional. We'll just put this as that. 1 equals rough day, 5 equals great day. So in this case, we probably want to do a selector. We'll just call this mood on a scale of, I might actually just copy this to be honest. I think this would be a great idea. So we're just going to do text. And if we wanted to do all, now we're going to do selector. So we're going mood and then this. On a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your overall mood today? Awesome. So this will probably just be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. And then our last one finally is close. Oh no, that's basically it. So that's basically all of our post-call analysis that we want to make. It's how has your day been? What's made your day memorable? And then the mood. Security settings, can leave that. Webhook settings, we will probably come back to this because we're going to need to mess with that later. But basically, I think if I call this voice AI agent, we can actually test it out and figure out what's going on. Now, it does have this here for hello first name. My name is AI name. We're going to change AI name to, we'll just do Ali. And then this first name is probably just going to be a dynamic variable that we are going to swap out whenever we make a call to that person. And you see what I mean by that later. But I think for now, if we test this, we'll actually get to see how this performs.
Hello, first name. My name is Ali, and I'm reaching out briefly to better understand how people are experiencing their day-to-day lives. Your input is anonymous and will help improve services tailored to daily needs. Could I ask you a few quick questions?
Sure.
Great. How's your day been so far? Any highlights or challenges you'd feel comfortable sharing?
I don't want to go through that entire script. I don't know how loud that was for you guys, but I think I'll fix the audio on that one post video recording. What's really cool about Retell is we can actually test this through an LLM instead of having to do audio. So this is really good for fixing rapidly without having to waste money, waste tokens on the actual audio. So we're going to just type here, hi, hello, how are you today? I'm good. And then they'll be like, that's great to hear. My name is Ollie. I'm reaching out to understand how people are experiencing day-to-day lives. You'd be open to sharing a quick few questions with me. You're completely anonymous and really valuable. Sure. And then it'll be like, how has your day been so far? It's been all right. Nothing much has happened. I just woke up. Awesome. Sometimes a quiet start to the day can be nice. What's one thing today that's been unique or memorable? Probably the sky outside is quite nice. And then it'll be a scale 1 to 5. We'll go 5. And then that's it. That's basically the entire chain. So honestly, I think it's fine. We're going to leave that as is. And now we're actually going to go into n8n and start building out our first flow. So this is going to be the AI cold caller initializer. So there's going to be 2 flows that we're going to be building out. One is going to be the initializer, which will search through the Airtable and basically make the calls to each of the people. And the second one is going to be a post-call analysis tool to basically grab those 3 details, which was how their day has been, what was the most memorable thing of their day, and their mood. And that's pretty much it. We're going to store it inside of this Airtable. So let's start off with this. I think we're just going to do a manual trigger just because we're going to be testing this quite a bit. Next, we're going to want to go with an Airtable module because we are searching for the phone numbers as seen in this Figma. So we are going to search records and we're going to make sure we choose the correct base, which is AI cold caller. Make sure we choose the correct table. In this case, there's only 1 table. I might actually change this because we're going to need 2 tables. We're just going to call this phone number database. And don't worry, I will fill this out. I'm just going to build this out first. Refresh list. So it should be phone number database. And then we want to filter by formula. So this formula will be evaluated for each record. And it's very important that we get this right. So basically what we want to do here is curly bracket equals this. And then what you want to put inside of this curly bracket is basically the name of the field. In this case, my name is status. So we're going to make sure that it is also case sensitive. So make sure you spell this correctly. And we want to make sure status is called uncalled. Now inside of here, let's actually build out our first, phone number. You can see that I created a row and it automatically put the status as uncalled. Quickly, what I want to break through is the different fields. So name is just a single line text. Status is a single select for either uncalled or called, and the default option is always uncalled because logically, if you think about it, all the phone numbers that come in here are going to be uncalled. So we're always going to classify them as uncalled and then called once they've been called. And then the actual phone number, which is just using the phone number field. Awesome. So we're going to do that. And then basically we want to call this uncalled. And we can actually test this and see if it works. So I guess in this case, we'll do Ollie, and then we'll just do a random phone number like so. And now if we test this, it should return that phone number, which it does. That is awesome. Now let's quickly show you what happens if I change this filter to called. What's going to happen is it's not going to return anything because it's filtered by all the uncalled fields. So you can see nothing returned. So this works, which is great. So we're going to put this back to uncalled and we're going to test this one more time. Beautiful. Now we have the phone number, we have their name, we also have the ID, which is awesome. Now what we want to do with this information is we want to make a HTTP request. And this HTTP request is basically going to create a phone call for us. So if we go back into RetellAI, and if we go out a little bit, I think, can you access documentation? I don't think you can. All right, that's cool. We'll just go into RetellAI.com. Once again, we'll head over to the documentation. We'll head over to the API reference. And beautiful, we're right on it. So we want to basically send a HTTP request to create a phone call. And there's a few different things we need for this. Number one, our URL is going to have to be, actually, is this create phone number? Yeah, this is the one. Create a phone call. So we are going to need to basically grab this URL, put it inside of here, make sure this is changed to post request. we're gonna send some headers. So we need an authorization header, which is basically going to be our API key. So bearer token. And we are also going to need a content type, which is application JSON. If you saw my previous video, you would understand how to do this very well. So if I'm going through a bit quickly, please do let me know in the comments, but I think it's pretty straightforward. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't think we need to send any data, apparently. But let's try it. Oh, no, we do. That's weird. Let's actually fill this out here, because then that'll give us our actual body. So yeah, get our API token or API key, which is very easy. You just go into RetellAI and you just click API keys, and then you can basically copy it. I'm not going to show mine, but you basically copy it. Oh, it'll probably show here, won't it? Yeah, it'll probably show here. Well, you can't see the whole thing, so I think it's fine. Oh, no, you can. All right, I'll probably just delete it after this video. And then for the body, so from number. So this is the point where you basically want to get a number from Twilio. So in this case, if we go onto Twilio, just go onto Twilio real quick. And I'm gonna go into Twilio and basically grab my phone number, and I'll come back to you with that info in a second. Okay, I got my number from Twilio, and I also have my own phone number, and you can see this body parameter here has been basically added. This wasn't here before, and I believe this is everything that we need in order to get started. Now, there are some extra parameters that we can use, and actually we might want to use it. So real quick, I want to go back into agents, and I want to grab the agent ID, because this is the agent we're going to be using to make the call from. So that's very important for our HTTP request, so that it knows, hey, this is the voice agent that we want to send a phone call to this number from this number. So I think what I want to do is override agent ID. So we're just going to do that. And this should be everything that we need. Let me just quickly double check. Yeah, so that was pretty much everything we needed. And what we can do back in this HTTP request is we can add a sender body, and we're just going to do body type JSON. So using JSON, create it as an expression, and then just chuck it in here. Now, some of these fields have to be changed. And I think, honestly, there's a few things that we need here. Now, I want to double check, actually. Can I add a name? That would be great if I could add a name, add a property. Yeah, and you can't add a name, which is interesting. I think that's fine. What we want to do is from number. So this is our Twilio number. This basically stays the same because it's always going to be calling from this number. To number. So this is going to change. This is basically going to be drag and dropped for each unique number. It's going to be this JSON. And then the agent ID pretty much stays the same. And that's basically it. Now, I want to add this name field, and I'm not sure if you can do it. What I might do is I'll test this out first and see if it works, and then we'll have a play around and see what happens. But I think that is pretty much ready to go. So if I go back into here and I just change this to my actual phone number, and if I test this flow manually again, okay, there was a problem in the code, authorization failed. I didn't actually add my API token. That is great. Let's do that real quick. Awesome. So now if we test this, it should work. Let me quickly grab my phone and let's see if this works. Okay, so I've added my authorization. So let's see if this works. First try. I'm going to test the workflow. Airtable is going to run search our record. HTTP request failed. Request is invalid or could not be processed by the server. Cannot find phone number under given API key. Oh, right. I never actually connected my phone number to Twilio Retell. Let me actually do that first, and then we'll come back to it. If you don't know how to do this, there's plenty of tutorials online. I'm not going to show you how to do it because it's really tedious and it takes a lot of time. But yeah, let's get back when I've actually connected this phone number to our voice agent. Completely forgot about that. Okay, so I've just finished setting up my phone number from Twilio to Retell, and now we're going to test this. I've got my phone next to me, so let's actually see if this AI calls us and we can actually interact with it. So if I click test step, searching the phone number, it's making the request. We should, there we go.
It is going to be post, yes. And for the authentication, we're going to use a generic credential type. Go to header auth. As you see here, I already
day-to-day life. Your input is anonymous and will help improve services tailored to daily needs. Could I ask you a few quick questions?
Yeah, sure.
Great. how has your day been so far? Any highlights or challenges?
Yeah, today has been quite a tough day just trying to configure this Twilio.
I appreciate you sharing that. It sounds like you've been dealing with some challenges. What's one thing that made today unique or memorable for you?
Probably the coffee I had this morning.
That sounds nice. A good cup of coffee can really make a difference. On a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your overall mood today? 1 equals sign rough day, 5 equals sign great day.
That's good. 5.
That's wonderful to hear. Thank you for your time. Your insights are valuable. If you ever want to share feedback again, feel free to reach out. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye. Okay, awesome. We just had a cold call made to us. And now we can actually, and if you're using this for your own business or for whatever purpose, you can actually go back into Retell, go to your call history, and you'll see here, this is the call that happened. It was about 1 minute, 12 seconds long. You can review the call recording, so you can actually see how the user interacted with the AI agent. And here are our 3 custom fields that we wanted to grab. Now, our most memorable part of the day was the coffee. How our day has been? Bad. Okay, that's weird how it was able to grab that. Today has been quite a tough day just trying to configure. Okay, yeah, I guess today has been maybe not bad. Maybe I need to go back and actually configure the different moods, because we did a bad, all right, good. Might need to configure the different moods and maybe provide more examples as to what is a good mood, what is an all right mood, what is a bad mood. But it was able to pick up, it was a 5 coffee this morning, and bad, maybe not bad, but like all right, which is fine. But you can totally see how if you flesh this thing out, you can actually get so much data from that phone call and then use that however you please. But that's pretty much how you build an AI cold caller. It's a very simple workflow. And the best part about RetellAI is that you can do up to 20 phone numbers at once. So you don't even need to do 1 phone number, you can do up to 20. But that is pretty much everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I think in the next video, or the next couple of videos, we're going to be diving a lot deeper into cold calling and building out a fully fleshed system that you could sell for thousands of dollars. Anyway, thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day. And I look forward to speaking with you soon. Goodbye.